not dead.
No,
Some
no.
of them are. They're still moving very, very, very little.
They're cold stunned.
Sea Turtle Inc., how can I help you?
Amy, John here. I'm on Ben's phone. We're in Barracuda, just arrived, and a guy just told us about this. I mean, it is covered friggin' up with turtles. Just can't believe. Isn't this crazy?
What?
This is just
I didn't know
unbelievable.
any of this. I'm completely floored
in the
by
sea,
this
in the grass.
film. I did not know it's cold stun. I didn't know that that was even a thing for turtles. So this was really amazing. I learned a lot. I really learned a lot. I'm so happy you made this movie. I thought it was beautifully shot. I thought the footage was incredible. I thought the heroics of these people was really clear, really straightforward. It was very clear what these folks were going through to get these turtles, to safety and hopefully back to life, some of them. So yeah, it's a beautiful film. It's beautifully directed. The questions being asked of the experts in the field are perfect, outstanding, really brought the story forward, and I'm really glad you made this. I've learned so much. Thank you. Congratulations.
I remember last year, I'm currently in Texas. My family's from there. So I remember when this freeze came and how detrimental it was to, the people here, but especially the animals and the wildlife. And I never thought for a moment about how it affected animals down at the coast. So this was an eye-opener for me. And I'm sure it is to so many other people. You don't really think about, sea turtles freezing because it's not a normal issue. But this was a really informative piece, showing all the different people helping and trying to contribute to saving the Gulf's wildlife and saving these sea turtles in the midst of, like a climate catastrophe. So, it really did cover everything it needed to cover. And it was just very well put together. It did look like it belonged in like National Geographic. The production was very, very good. So good. That's such a simple word, but it was so good. But yeah, overall loved this
amazing
piece.
little film of just 4 minutes. It was definitely to a bit of a PSA for this nonprofit, but what a nonprofit. I can't remember where this took place, but there was a really cold storm that hit this one area where all these sea turtles were, and suddenly there's thousands of sea turtles who are cold stunned. And this group comes in and just grabs them all and warms them up and saved like 5,000 turtles and put like 2,200 back into the environment. Pretty extraordinary. And really a great example of how we can live in nature and help it when things like this happen. Cheers.
It's really beautiful. It's kind of, it's heartbreaking in its own way because of just the circumstances that it's depicting. Like, it's hard to watch at certain points, but it's a really beautiful story, and it's cool to see these people caring so much and putting forward so much effort to save these things. And it's a super unique like regional story that could only happen here, and I think that the filmmakers did a great job at capturing that and utilizing the medium to kind of share that with people, with the audience.
Doing such incredible work to help save sea turtles in Texas, and they are going through quite a harsh time, as displayed throughout this short documentary. But even with the short length of the documentary, we could see how much time and devotion is being put towards saving these sea turtles and trying to include the community in that process as well. Now I've learned something from this too about how they can slow their heart rates so that, when you think a creature might be dead, it might very well not be. So there's a lot of informative information here that could help further the cause.
Turtles are probably my favorite animal. So I love watching things about them. I've done a lot of research and things because they're probably my favorite animal, but I didn't actually know that of this cold event. I do know that it could happen to turtles and they can slow their heartbeats down. And so I knew that, but I didn't know that this huge cold event had happened. And that's the amount of sea turtles that they were able to house in less than ideal circumstances with having absolutely no power at one point. And being able to kind of house them and in a sense foster them until they could be released into warmer water is so impressive. And it shows not just great work that they're doing, but it shows the great outreach that they've been doing, because it showed how much the community itself is a part of this program and is knowledgeable in some kind of way that this program and this center is, there, because it was so many people calling in the volunteers or, picking up these sea turtles or, doing what they could. And it wasn't just the volunteers doing it. It was also a huge part of the community that they either got the calls or that the community was out there helping as well. And I think showing that the program is so successful, not just from the aspect of, yes, their work with turtles is really amazing, but the level of accessibility and knowledge that they've been able to create within the community, even if it is just, if you see a turtle, call this number, but then actually having that happen is so impressive.
Such a short but kind of intense 4 or 5 minutes of video footage of what was happening with the sea turtles. And it was just one of those things where people don't realize it's a thing until you see something like this and you're just like, okay, wow, there's actually a team of people whose job is to protect the sea turtles during these crazy times. And it's one of those things where it's like, thank God there are people who are doing this, because you don't realize it. And just seeing the numbers in the end and just the thousands of turtles that were saved is just great to know that people were there at the right time, knowing what they're doing and not just freaking out at the fact that they see immobile turtles. But yeah, no, this is a really great video. It was really short. It was only 4 or 5 minutes again. And yeah, it was just one of those things where I'm just I can't look away. It was just so intense to see what was happening. And it was just so sad at the same time. But yeah, I'm really glad that this was made. I really enjoyed seeing the events of this kind of unfold and what was happening throughout that time. And yeah, it was just really intense, and it was great.
I didn't know about this, a cold stun. I had not heard about this before. So I'm really happy I saw this film because, I learned something, bless these volunteers, what they did, to save these turtles. It's a wonderful thing. I'm glad that they were able to get a crew involved and they were able to document this so that people like me that don't know anything about it can see it and learn. Great job. It was a wonderful job making in the making of this film, and the footage they got, the editing and everything was effective, and the interviews and everything just snapped and it worked so good. It just it was a very good and a very moving piece. So I just want to thank the folks who are responsible for saving these turtles and for the work they're doing, and thank everybody involved in making this film, because it's a good message that needs to get out there, and I hope that people see it. I wish everybody the best for it.